Navigation happens only when you have a temperament, emotional quotient, and interpersonal relationship with people. Otherwise, rest of the capability will be out of the organization. And that's where I say this life as an evaluation you can think about, and I keep evaluating that in all students who are coming to my organization or any new hire for that matter, because that is more important for me as an organization which is having a culture and ethos which has to be adopted by the people who are joining us. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so one of the interesting skill which pandemic has taught us and which I think is more like a life skill is dealing with ambiguity. We just were thrown out one fine day in that and we swam, we ward as you said rightly. But this is a skill which I think is the skill for future because we really don't know. Today we are sitting and talking, but we really don't know how things are going to be by 2025. There are lots of factors, regulatory factors, social, environmental, so many factors which are actually impacting. So we'll only learn, we'll only know when we actually reach that. So how can we one be ambiguous, deal with ambiguity? It's important to be resilient for that. It's important to be agile for that. Agile for learning, agile to know, be flexible, be open, be aware. It's extremely important for a professional or a young professional as well as a professional to know about these things. We have a lot of data and we talk about big data and information which is there. The crux lies in actually deciphering that data and coming up what is actually, what is the data saying or what is the meaning, what is the main takeaway. Otherwise, it's very easy to get lost in the sheets and sheets and sheets. And even after doing any analytical data analytics courses and all of these, it is extremely important that you should be able to decipher that and come up with the actual meaning of it. And one and the most important skill, which again all of us should learn, is stay focused. Because with social media, I see a lot of kids working with their phones on and laptops next to each other. It's very easy, and it's very easy to get little uh, taken away by just one message which pops in from Instagram or anything for that matter. And that's the way the generation has grown. And rather, I would say even our generation is getting addicted to it. It's not anything against millennial or Gen Z. But staying focused is extremely important, and that will help to increase the productivity in long term.
I think we need to learn how to receive critique. I think again it is missing in a big way. More we are pampered, we are not ready to receive the critique. And as we are saying Gen Z and all, we are all pampered generation, so I'm also part of that. So please learn how to receive critique, how to absorb that, and how to take it forward, which is quite difficult. What I have experiencing, and a lot of resignation happens where people are not able to accept the critique in a proper.
I just want to add one thing, and it is a habit that all of you should probably form, is listening to news from early morning. Okay, I personally I wake up 4:30 in the morning because the Japanese markets open at 4:30. And when I say news, not page 3 news, okay, economic, financial, as less as possible political, but global decisions. The pandemic, the corona actually started from 31st of December, 1 year before, and India had time of 3 months to prepare for it. Okay, so saying that it suddenly happened and we didn't know that lockdown was going to happen was being ignorant. Okay, so we knew that there are other countries who have already issued a lockdown order. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. And as a result of that, at least in our organization, we were better prepared as we could use this information. So there was a discussion on AI, ML, and data. It is all of that is going to be there, but how well you are able to utilize it to take the right decisions at the right time is where you are going to add value. So as an organization, we started doing a work from home from 14th of March and not 22nd of March. And I was able to push my management into doing it because I had all the information from the globe, because I could tell that you have X number of employees, out of which X percentage is localized, X percentage is not from the city. And if there is a lockdown, they are going to get stuck. Then there is X number of people who work on desktop and not on laptop. If suddenly tomorrow they have to work from home, they'll not be able to do it. So before we went into lockdown, we had to make sure that people can travel home. We could make sure that if they go home, they have a system with which they can work with. Get policies into place to give them reimbursement or whatever facilities that are required. And everything was done, delivered, finished by 14th of March. So we were a week ahead in time because I had the news with me, I had the data with me, and I had the influence with me to tell my management, this is what you have to do. And that is where HR has to work with heart and head together. Yeah.
I think the point which Osmi ma'am has mentioned is the fact that all of us should be aware what's happening around the world. A lot of times we don't do that. And even as students, as you know, sometimes we get so much stuck to our course, we do only our coursework, we think that's enough. But we should know what's happening in the world, what industry, how industry is moving around, what is happening in other industry which is going to impact this industry, which I may want to join, and what more I should know besides the course. What more skills, as Pallavi Madam mentioned well just now very clearly. Ambiguity from the VUCA world is still relevant. I don't know what other three words are they relevant or no, but yes, ambiguity is still relevant. Now, I thought VUCA is gone out of the window after pandemic. That's the latest VUCA now, I thought. But then, as she rightly said, ambiguity is very much. You have to be prepared for the uncertainty. It can happen anytime. So we do things the hoga. We'll do it. I'll anticipate things to happen. I'll be prepared. And therefore I can counter better. As she mentioned, in her company, she was prepared. She handled it very well. So this is going to be some kind of a learning. Please don't wait for last minute. Get prepared. And that's something always will help you in the long run. And obviously you'll be a success. Although I'm being pressurized to shorten the discussion, but I'm not going to buckle under pressure. Analysts are looking quite, interested to carry on. So I'm carrying on. Okay, sir? This question basically is from the NASSCOM report I was going through. And NASSCOM, obviously, as you know very well, is a very authentic body. What they write here is that each year 3 million graduates and postgraduates are added to the workforce. But not all graduates get suitably employed. Now, on the other hand, companies struggle to get. This is something which I have faced when I was in the corporate world. We need people, we don't get the right people. Now, what are your companies going to do about it? You need people, but you don't get the right people. Kya karenge? What will you do?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question, I think. And innovation is something which is very important for HR in this field. I mean, if we don't innovate, we will not be able to match the right people, right place. And that's where I always keep on thinking about talent from many dimensions. So we hire chartered accountants, we hire cost accountants, we hire MBAs, we go for chemical engineers. So I started thinking, as an HR, my organization, chemical company, lot of reactions happens and all. So chemical engineers is a one fraternity which is very important for me. Then I see another is the chartered accountants because they are the one who manages everything very well. So they are very critical for me. And third comes the legal. Then I started thinking, can I uh, blend it? And blending is something very important nowadays. I mean, you have to blend a lot of things. So, and blending enables, okay, whether it is uh, in reactions or in human beings or anywhere. So I said, when I say HR, do I need techno HR? So if I go to MBA college and I say I want the best of the HR guys, I'm actually fooling myself. Because my company is a chemical company and where I need a techno HR. Somebody coming from a chemical background and having HR exposure. So we were struggling. We were struggling for a lot of skill matrix in the manufacturing setup. And we were bringing HR guys and they said, am I supposed to go to plant and work? I mean, this is, okay. So we said, why can't we go and hire chemical engineers in HR? So I personally went in campus and I delivered the, one presentation on HR and I said, you guys can make a huge difference to my organization being in HR. And you can learn a lot of things in a very different way and add value. Trust me, the topper of the college, I'm talking about Lakshmi Narayan Institute of Technology in Nagpur, the topper of the class has joined me in HR. I got one from SVNIT, and another chemical engineer, best of the college in HR. Then I hired one MSc chemistry in HR. And I saw this is one model we can say that how are we going to have a blend where this is going to make sense to you more. Now, HR I can teach them, but they bring a lot of technical things for me, which where they will be talking the same language what my technical people are talking, and they will understand that. So this is one way we innovated, and I said this is one model, one formula which is going to work. We also looked for an institute where we got a guy, legal, law, plus MBA from Nursing Honji. So we said, is there a course like that? And we got it. Then we saw Mukesh Patel, Nursing Honji Institute, there's a Mukesh Patel there. They have a chemical engineers plus MBA in finance. So again, I got a blend which is going to work well for me when it comes to commercials in my organization rather than hardcore accounting. For accounting, I have chartered accountant. So what I'm saying is that as an HR, we have to see that what is the core. For me, core is at the bachelor level, what you are learning. And MBA is putting on that as a management learning. So what you are talking about these. So if I take an electrical engineering, I mean, it's not going to make more sense to me, rather it will be good in Blue Stars and other companies where electrical engineering can make more sense with HR degree. So in hiring, while we are hiring people, we have to think in a multiple ways. Like location was something which is very very critical for us and in HR. So we hire people from long distance. Even Mira Road guy, if I'm hiring in Vashi, he at the time of recruitment he'll say, "Sir, आप विश्वास कीजिए मैं रोज एकदम I will be there." But after 2 months he will be tired and he will say, "No boss, it's not my cup of tea. I'll get another job. I'll go and work there." So what I see is that how are you playing with that all things, everything. So I go to tier 2 cities and I say, boss, let me bring guys from there and give guest house in my vicinity and give them food, give them AC, everything, and they will be there for some time and they will enjoy. And that makes more sense to them rather than bringing a guy high flyer from Mumbai and coming to my place and then say, boss, it's not working for me, right, as a manufacturing setup. So I mean, we all have to see that what organization is. I mean, we always say that जहाँ पे ऐश्वर्या राय की जरूरत है ऐश्वर्या राय की जरूरत है, जहाँ पे राखी सावंत की वहाँ राखी सावंत. So I mean, when you need Rakhi Sawant, why you are hiring Aishwarya? Okay, so that's something that doesn't work, and you will find a lot of attrition. So do you know your organization well? What is your culture? What is your maturity level? What kind of mentors you have? I have mentors from not from IITs or IIM. I have mentors from ICT kind of places. I have mentors from LIT, PKIT kind of places. I have good mentors and started accountants. I will hire those guys because I need to mentor them. I have to give them that ecosystem where they will feel, yeah, this is a place where I can flourish. So it's more about blending and matching what you need. In the right talent is all about that. So that is how I see is one thing which can be done in the hiring and which will help organizations to retain people for the long. Thank you.
Okay. So when you say hiring is of two parts. One is freshers and second is lateral. Freshers are hired for a specific purpose, let's say chartered accountants who can do basic work, and even MBA graduates and so on. So that inflow is always there. Where it becomes difficult is lateral hiring because they come with a particular experience. And as Vinod was mentioning, the requirement of specific skill, somebody who has got, let's say, audit skill in auto sector, like that specific, is started becoming very is becoming demanding on a regular basis. What has come to rescue here is the gig working, looking for a specific skill and putting them on a job for a period, which can actually create a difference. And what a millennial wants, basically a quick result, quick work, and move on to a different organization. So that model has also worked quite well, and I believe that is evolving. And that could be one of the future models. Many organizations are looking for something like it currently.
So I'll try to be very specific to the problem statement that there is so much of supply and there is so much of demand, and still there seems to be no solution. And that's because there is a step difference between the supply and the demand which is there. The education system, the way it is right now, is very boxed. You know, you will get a BE, ENTC, okay, and that ENTC will not know about MEC. Now, I am going to automate an arm which is going to manufacture XYZ. I cannot have an ENTC who will not want to know anything about MEC. So there has to be more interdisciplinary education going forward, which is going to help match the demand which is there in the industry. That is number one. Number two is I've seen people becoming more and more picky choosy when I go to hire. Okay, and it is in my own lifetime that I've seen. 10 years ago, when I used to hire in an engineering manufacturing company, the child after being hired was willing to go to Kharagpur, to Dimapur, to Amka, Dhamka, whatever name मैं इंडिया के मैप पे जहाँ उंगली रख दूँ वो बेचारा चला जाता है. Now वो कैसे जाऊँगा, कितना घंटा लगेगा जाने में. Suddenly they'll remember they have responsibilities at home. They can't be stationed here. They can't be stationed there. I'll tell them now, go to Singapore. There is a plant to be taken care of. All their responsibilities will suddenly vanish in thin air. Okay, so this is a problem. And those people who will, become this kind of picky choosy, in the long run, they are going to lose. They're going to suffer, in fact. Okay, any opportunity that you have in life to know, to learn, to read, if you are saying no, it is going to come and bite you like anything, right? In my college, I also had a professor, Jha. He used to say, excuse is a poison. It will kill you. In this very way, he used to say. And that I have learned it more and more with each passing day of my life. Right? We talk about your ability to learn. We say that you should, if anybody follows Ankur on LinkedIn, he said you should learn, I see nodding heads. You should read at least 30 minutes a day, right? If any one of you are getting your clothes ironed from outside, there will be a newspaper piece that will come inside it. How many of you read it? Anybody reads it? Sometimes. Huh? हमारे देश में समोसा न्यूज़पेपर में रैप हो गया था. There is a lot of things that get wrapped into a newspaper. If you're throwing it away, you're throwing away an opportunity, right? So now when I am hiring, if I am looking for things like learning ability, if I am looking for things at behavior, if I am looking at things at logical thinking, critical thinking, how do you communicate, how do you take critical feedback, how do you deal with conflicting situations? I don't think there's an institute which is taking a course on this as of today, ever. There is one parameter that I have in my organization, which is your patriotism quotient. Okay? There are very few people, especially at management level when I hire, there are very few people. The reason I'm not able to hire is because they don't know the Constitution of India. If I ask them to count out the 4 pillars of Constitution of India, they can't tell me. Something which is taught to you in 5th standard, right? If I am an organization which is making life simpler for soldiers and you don't know the Constitution of India, you don't belong, right? So certain things which we look for in our people are not taught as a course or as not being valued in educational system, right? So earlier panel said, are you switching off lights? Are you switching off taps? Which academic institute is giving points for these kind of behaviors? Right? In Japan, you have schools where children sweep their own classes, children chop vegetables for their food. We don't have that in India. So if there is certain kind of behavioral expectation that the industry is having, I think it's high time that academia starts recognizing that and has some system of valuing these things also.
That was going to be my next question to you. Sir, you answered my question earlier. My question was to all three of you is, because you go to all the business schools, you go to all the IITs and IIMs, including UBS, you come here. What do you think is something missing in our curriculum we need to add? Look, we are very open. We have a lot of industry interactions. We have this board of studies where we call corporates and that they tell us what to add, what not to add, and what to add value to your students. So can you tell us, the three of you, what do you think? Should we add? We think we are missing out probably, which will make us more effective. Our students will be more smarter in the days to come. Yeah.
Firstly, let me confess, I don't know your curriculum as of now. But let me tell you this, that currently we talk a lot about diversity, being diverse, and a lot of organizations are embracing diversity from not only from gender perspective but also from LGBTQ and further. So it is important to have diversity, but how to be more inclusive is an extremely important factor, and if that is taught right from the time of schooling and college, it will actually help the organizations in long way. When professionals join them, then there's a time spent on being inclusive, and also if it's taught at this stage, it will be really helpful. So inclusion, how to be more and more inclusive. Yeah. Inclusive behavior is something which is.
Yeah, so I'll add a couple of more things on that. What I feel is, if institutes can build ego management kind of curriculum. So, I have seen 80% of the energy of the top management goes into ego management. So, and that's I have seen the new students coming to the corporate and they come and then they see and they say, hey, is it for me? Because that ego is already there. I'm here. So I think ego management and humility is something which has to be built in every student because they have to be ready to go to work down to earth. Pull up your sleeves and do the hard work, dirty work first in the organization. Even if someone is saying, get photocopy of this, go take photocopy. Be ready for that. Read that what you're copying. Don't just do the photocopy the way you is going to do. So everywhere you will have an opportunity. I'll give an example. We hired around 11 trainees in my own team and they are today taking charge of many of the portfolios. Even they have not confirmed today. So one guy, he came to me and said, these are the things which you have to file on the personal and then confirmation letter is there. I said, who is this person who is to be confirmed? He said, sir, इसका नाम ये है. मैंने कहा, why he should be confirmed? नहीं, उसके senior ने form भर दिया है तो भी confirm करना है. I said, don't you think this is an opportunity for you to read this file fully? You will get to know one employee. And we as an HR, if we don't understand our employees, and we are just doing the postman job, it's not going to work. Right? So that's why I say that this humility, down to earth, pulling up the sleeves and say that, let me go deep, which is completely missing. Can we build that in our students? Because that's going to make their career in a big way. Because rest all will be built over there. But this, if this basics are not there in place, and then it becomes very difficult for corporates to build other things on them. So that will be one thing which is.
I think I partly answered this, but if certain things were to be included as a course curricular, I think we had this in school, वो seriously कोई लेता नहीं था, but we should build life skills, you know, basic things. चाय कैसे बनाना है, वो वाटर का जो डिस्पेंसर है उसका ऊपर वाला बॉटल कैसे चेंज करना है, प्रिंटर में पेपर कैसे डालना है, ड्रिल कैसे करना है. I can just go on with this list. But if you want to be respected in the organization, you should know whatever is the simplest of the task. I'll not say menial job, no job is menial, no job is less or more. But when your own people see that there is nothing that you cannot do and you can put your heart and head to everything, that puts you in a place, it's like nobody can take away that from you. And that also gives you a lot of confidence that yes, I can manage all of this. I don't need a paraphernalia of 10 people for me to be successful. किसी ने प्रिंटर में पेपर नहीं डाला, मैं खुद डाल देगा. चाहे नहीं आई है, मैं खुद बना देगा. राइट? वहाँ पे वो बोर्ड गिर गया है, मैं कर दूंगी. वो उसका घड़ी का बैटरी निकल गया है, मैं स्क्रू लगा के खुद चेंज करूंगी. These are things, and this will build the attitude for you to do things and everything in your life. Right? So whatever time you get, first of all, identify time thieves in your life. Okay, things like WhatsApp, Insta, etc. This is a term which is coming through. It's called as time thief. Identify them. I'm not saying give them up, but limit it. So मैं शाम को 4 से 4:30 बजे तक I will waste my time. Put a time limit to you wasting time also. Okay. And secondly, see if you can derive some purpose out of it. Okay, if you are seeing WhatsApp statuses, everybody sees, right? So when you see a WhatsApp status, somebody's bought a new car, don't put a thumbs up over there. Okay, remember that, and next time you meet that person, गले मिलो, उसका हाथ वाथ मिलाओ, उसको बोलो मिठाई किधर है. Become involved in that person's life moment. Okay, so it is not necessary that social media is a waste; it can be utilized. So develop these life skills which will make you successful. In life, you will, what you do is important, but how you do it is going to differentiate it. So if we can somehow build it in teaching children that it is not just what you have delivered, but how you have delivered it is what is going to differentiate you from one. इतने सारे बच्चे pass out हो रहे हैं, मैं तुमको क्यों select करूँ? Right? This is why I select. Because you are plus, right?
Thank you very much. Should we have one more question? Because you are not looking hungry at all. All of you are looking energetic and enthusiastic right now. So. No, that's not a secret. I must thank my panelists here. They have been so, they have understood our, our situation, and they have not let it go. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello. So we all compete. Okay? And in class, I tell you, you guys may be competing with each other like hell. Right? But learn how to collaborate and compete. Please, this is very important because this I've seen